What's happening, y'all? I'm Dr. Zeus. I'm here with my 23-year-old son, kid, Cornell Jr. I'm Cornell Sr. for people who don't know our real names. And um, I'm an entrepreneur. My wife and I, for the last almost 14 years, we are in the chiropractic space. We have multiple businesses, but we're by trade chiropractors. And man, I just wanted to sit here. I've had a huge transformation over the last 5.5 years of being able to lead myself properly. And so many people see me and they're like, man, Zeus, you made a hard switch. And people have seen me come from the hood in New Orleans to, living a very good life. And now I live a kingdom first, a God first life. But a lot of people see it as perfect. You know what I mean? If you don't really know me, you don't know where we come from. And I got my son here just a few days ago. He just came home from doing what?
13, almost 14 months.
13 months in the can, in jail. And so we just gonna talk about that a little bit. We just gonna talk about fatherhood, sonship, what that looked like from when he was little to what that looked like now, how he see me, the changes that we've made. So we just gonna jump into it. And so, like for me, I believe the hardest thing you ever do is lead yourself as a man. And how do I know that? Over the last 5.5 years, I've had success templates of my mentor and my spiritual father, Pastor Heath Craft. He taught me that, like, man, the hardest thing you'll ever do is lead yourself, because we struggle as men being able to lead ourselves. And what does that mean? Being able to be men of integrity, being able to do what you say you're gonna do. So I've been married for almost 16 years this summer. And for my wife, 10 of those years were hell. It was hell because I just wasn't a great husband. No one taught me how to be a great husband. It wasn't something I just naturally picked up. So we gonna just straight jump into that. And the first thing that I really want to talk about and ask you about is, like, I was a wild young man. I was a wild teenager. Your mom and I, we had you when we were teenagers, and you've seen my transition from college, being a wild, crazy dude from the hood and doing all kind of crazy stuff. And so I just want to get your feedback, or your point of view of, as you were coming up as a little boy, how did you see that and what did you learn? You got the flow.
I was saying though, as growing up, seeing as you little, I messed it up. Growing up, seeing you, I always did look at you and seeing like, yeah, my dad is great. Like, you always went to school, you was always doing something positive, but you could just tell, like, growing up, like, you still had that wild side, because, like, say if somebody cut you off in traffic, somebody talking crazy, you'll be looking at them like, boy, you'll just catch yourself, because we right there right now though. So, like, I do see a transformation.
Yeah. And so I want to get your point of view, right? Because when I went through chiropractic school, and when we moved to Dallas, we moved you here. You and your brother. My wife, Tiandra, who's not his biological mom, Dr. Tiandra, we moved y'all here. And so the funny story is that they live with us. The environment is different. For sure, it's a more structured environment. You see what I'm saying? Even to the type of foods they eat. So them boys stayed with us from the summertime up until Christmas. I sent them home for Christmas. I wake up after Christmas, it's time for me to go pick them up from the airport at Love Field. Got them on Southwest Airlines. Go to the airport. They don't get off the plane. They don't get off the plane. I'm like, man, where they at? So I'm calling their mom, I'm calling them, and they're like, oh, they ain't coming. I want you to speak on that and why, like, I want you to talk about why you made that decision and how do you believe it affected you?
See why I made the decision? Because coming from New Orleans, it was a different environment. Like, it wasn't, I ain't gonna say easier, but we was more used to it. So, like, the school system, the school system was different. Like we might get in trouble for something in class in Texas for, like, something that's just regular in New Orleans, and it's just like they call your parents, be like, yes, he's doing this, he's doing that. But the reality, it was like just stuff we used to, certain ways of living, like we already stopped getting whooped back in New Orleans by our mom. We come back over here, we getting whoopings again. We getting punished here, like all type of stuff. It was just like, nah, man, Dad tripping, man. We about to go back home.
Yeah. So how do you think that affected you from the decisions you made? Because the things that you did as a young man, so transparently, just tell a camera like how you end up in front of this camera right now.
Well, I could say this though, like this change that affected my future by, I say like I probably be somewhere, well I ain't gonna say, I'm gonna say I should be in a better space right now because you did have us on positive things like playing football, going to school, like after school stuff, like basketball. You had us in the choir, like you showed us different way of living. So like I know, like definitely I probably would have never went to jail, but
Yeah. And so what I personally believe, like, we as fathers, as parents, what we and it's not something that I made up. Again, like I credit Pastor Keith Craft for saying this. As a leader, what you do in moderation, you allow people that follow you, you give them permission to do those things in access. So as a teenager, I went to jail multiple times. You know what I mean? I'm involved in violence and guns, and in college, I'm a wild man. So that part of me that my son he saw. But when we came to Texas, I still was a wild man. But like he's saying, we did create an environment of structure that wasn't chaos, right? So what would you say that led you to like wanting to get into selling drugs and to lead you to do 13 months in jail?
I look at it like this. So, like I'm not gonna say we didn't have anything, but like I wanted more. So it's like I want to go sell drugs because I like to get fly. I like riding in the latest cars. I just like the attention I get from the females, the bras. I want to help my mom. I want to be the Superman to everybody. Like, so it's like I always looked at you like, yeah, my dad a doctor, but he gotta go to school 8 years. Man, I could just go sell this and that. And I could make a little bit of that money just tomorrow. Real talk.
Basically, man, I'm not trying to go to school for 8 years and do all of this work. I'm trying to get my money fast.
Yeah, I need it right now.
I need it right now. And so, I believe as a parent, like your kids make decisions and you're responsible for those kids up into a certain age. You know what I mean? Like when they're in your household, you're responsible for those kids. And so I just think about how we live now. Being a man of God, being a person of integrity, being able to do the things that I say I'm going to do. Like I lead men in a group. I do coaching I do think coaching for men and for couples, and for business people. And people see me as like, man, he got it all together. What they don't know is that even 5 years ago, I was just a wild, crazy, out of control man. But, you look at my son and he's having a hard time in life. But even though I tried to bring him into Texas, it's just still things that he's seen me do growing up that just painting a terrible picture for him. And so the decisions that he made is not like we getting on this camera and we getting in front of him and saying like, oh man, everything you did was your fault. It's things that he's seen his dad do. It was the environment that I had him in. It was the people that we had him around, right? And so here's what I believe. I believe as men, we need success templates. We need templates on how to lead ourselves, how to be of integrity. Most guys don't even keep it real with their partners. So how you gonna keep it real with a woman? One of the biggest things I learned when I was married for the first 10 years, marriage was hard because me and my wife, we just argue all the time. We worked together. It just wasn't fun. We didn't see eye to eye. I had no value on her ideas, not understanding that my wife, her voice is the second most important voice to me outside of God. And so I didn't understand, I didn't have value there. So everything she said, I saw it as nagging. When really she was just revealing all my blind spots on like, man, things that you need to improve. Like, bro, you just walking around here full of pride and ego, and you're just really not a good guy. But the woman loved me so much that she stayed. She continued to do business with me. She continued to have children, right? And so I was lucky enough for this lady not to leave me until I stumbled upon a think coach, someone who just helped me just think better about the things that I'm thinking about. But not only that, just help me develop into learning how to be a man, like an adult man. How do you be an adult man and lead an adult woman and lead an adult family? How do you lead a family with core values? What are core values? Core values is what's most important and why those things matter. It's the most important thing. So in our house, we have core values. We have personal core values, but unlike my son who wasn't raised in the house with core values, my daughters are being raised in the house with core values. Our core values are honor, excellence, leadership, positive attitude, and relationship. So when one of my daughters get out of line, you know, especially if they go negative, they're rolling their eyes, that's a wrap because you're out of alignment with core values. And so this is the Cornish way of living. This is how you behave as a Cornish. And for him, he didn't get that. He didn't get that same template. He didn't get that same bridge to connect him, to lead him into down the road of success. And because of that, I'm not gonna say, like, I wasn't in control of his decisions, but, you know, I didn't put him in a position to fully win. And so when we don't put our kids in a position to fully win, we put them in a position to fail. You get what I'm saying? So I'm gonna say that again. When you don't put your kids in a position to win, you put them in a position to fail. And so when you don't put these kids in a position to win by having core values, by having standards, here's the standards that we live by. You know what I mean? Now he got standards. Now as a 23-year-old man, he's coming to Dallas at a second chance of life, and now we got standards. It's like, man, here's what we're gonna put up with. If you want us to help you, if you want to be put in a position to win, and you want our help and you want our assistance, now here's a position to win. Here's standards. And so he didn't get those same standards. So I just want to ask you about, just tell the people about your transition of essentially, you know, what you do to go to jail. And what'd you do to go to jail? And then how long you did and the things that you've seen in those 13 months.
We're gonna start by saying what I did to go to jail. Basically, I was caught with pounds of marijuana in the side of the airport. And second, we're gonna start by, I did 13 months. I did 13 months in jail, and things I seen in jail was crazy. Like, I seen somebody's eye get poked out. I seen somebody's lip get cut off. I seen people getting hit with locks in their head overnight. I just seen people die and come back to life off of smoking the stuff called mojo. It's just like,
Yeah.
I'm just looking around like, boy, I'm ready to go. I know I'm doing everything I could to not come back here. I'm about to just get my life together. Like,
How did that make you feel when you see those things? When you saw those things?
just like, I felt like I wasn't supposed to be here. I felt like I'm better than being around these type of people. Like,
Yeah. And so you get released and you gotta come to Texas and you're looking to start a new life here in Texas. Like, what does that look like for you?
well, it's looking awesome right now. It's just like, just felt like I'm born again. It just felt like I don't care about what I did in the past. I'm not gonna say I don't care about it, but it doesn't matter. It's just like what I'm about to do today. So I never look at yesterday. I always try to look at what I could do today, tomorrow, next week, and next year.
Yeah, it's one of the things that you got from me. Because I look forward to what's to come. We can't look back. God is just such an awesome God. God is a restorer. God forgives. He gives mercy. I heard this the other day that you know, when I think about God, I think about the mercy He's given me in the past and the mercy that I may need in the future. And so, you know, I just want to like close it out. And I'm super passionate on Like once you learn how to lead yourself as a person, like when you learn how to lead yourself as a man, you gotta understand, man, like decisions that you make today is gonna affect your children, it's gonna affect your family, it's gonna affect people that do business with you. And what we gotta realize as people is that God has put us on the earth to really advance his kingdom, to be the examples. And so the good news, which ain't, it's kind of a cop-out, but the good news is that we get to make mistakes. I get to make mistakes as a young man being in and out of jail. You get to make a mistake, and God forgives and he restores. And so, my biggest takeaway for just even wanting to get up here and shoot this is just, man, like, it just be real and be like, man, we not perfect. I'm not perfect. I've made mistakes. But if God can restore me, he can restore you. If God can restore him, he can restore you. You get what I'm saying? And then there's just so much to come, man. And I just believe that as fathers and as husbands, as strong men, we really got to just take control of our emotions. We got to take control of our lives and really get to a point where we're putting God first and being able to put yourself and your family in a situation to win. One of the things that I've learned over the last couple of years is about legacy. So when I was talking to him, I said, man, everything that I'm doing, in the past, it looked like hard work to you. It's like, man, I don't want to work hard with my dad. I remember you told me that one time. You said, man, I ain't trying to work hard like you do for no money. But I'm not thinking about me. The Bible says that a good man leaves things for his children. So I'm thinking about my son's children. I'm thinking about the next generation. I never thought like that. So as we close out, I just want to give you the flow of you just being able to, to speak on like, man, what are you looking for in your future? And, just also two things in your future, like, man, what are you looking forward to? And then two, what is the biggest difference you've seen in me as your dad now in 2025 versus when you were growing up? So that's two different questions.
I'm gonna start by saying what I see my dad as. Now I see you as a leader, a mentor. Like I see people really like look up to you, like they use you as a real mentor, like guidance. I always see your phone ring. Dr. Zeus, can you help me with this? Man, I just need advice on this. I need advice on this. So I was just like, I could just see the impact on the voice you have. Like, it's like you're a good leader now. So, and then I want to start with the things that I look forward to in my future. Things like I really want to be an entrepreneur. First, I want to be close to God. I'm gonna start by that. I really want to be closer to God. Like I started even when I was in jail. Like I was going to church. I'd be reading my Bible. I'm reading Christian books, a lot of Joyce Meyer books, and then like I want to be successful. I don't want to be the richest man on earth, but I want to be, like you said, like I want to make sure my kids straight too. Like so, it's things like I'm gonna have to take big steps from now on. Like not just think about me. I got to think for more people though.
Yeah. I think I want to just close out saying that, when you were a boy, I remember when you were staying here in Dallas and you just kept acting out and you never was a bad kid. But I'm like, man, what is wrong with this boy? And as a father, I believe I blew it because you were a boy needing his daddy. And I just thought you were like me. And when I say like me, man, I was crazy. I love violence. I just need somebody to knock me across the head and tell me what not to do. And so I was busting your behind. I was punishing you. And ultimately, you just wasn't like me. You wasn't a violent kid. You wasn't a kid that wanted to bust people upside the head. You were just a boy who needed his daddy and needed a hug. And I realized that later, when you were about 19 years old and you had enough, I think about 18 or 19, you had enough balls to be like, I'm tired of you like this. And I was like, boy, I knock you out. You think you're a man, boy, I really hand it to you. And you said, man, see, you don't get it. I'm not like you. I'm not like you. And I said, dang, in that moment, once again, I blew it because you the type of dude that you like quality time. You like to hug, you like to chill, you like to joke around. And I just thought like you was a wild man like me. So I punished you. I was busting your behind. I remember sitting you on bricks on your knees. I was like, he just need to be punished. And I just blew it as a father. I had an opportunity to just sit down and love on my son and hug on my son, but I didn't. You get what I'm saying? And it was because I didn't understand truly what love is. I didn't understand that people are different, that my kid just needed his father. So as we close out, man, I just want to thank you for just getting on here and sharing with me, being transparent. And we just talk about our struggles because the Bible says in Haggai 2:9 that your latter shall be greater than your former. So we know it's going to get better and better. Let's go. Let's grow, y'all.